What do Christians believe? Now that's a big question, and I could be here all day and all night telling you about various things that Christians believe. But there's a few big things. There's a few important facts that are key to our faith. Firstly, it all stems from God. God made the world. It tells us that in Genesis chapter 1. God made a world and it was good. It was a perfect world. There was no death or pain or suffering. People walked with God. Adam and Eve, the first two people, had a close relationship with him. But sadly, that world was torn apart when Adam and Eve decided they could do better without God, that they could ignore his one rule. And that's when something called sin came into the world. Sin basically saying, don't worry, God, I don't need you. I can do this on my own. I don't need to listen to what you want. And because Adam and Eve and people thereafter have chosen to ignore God, there was a punishment that was deserved. And that punishment, sadly, was death. That punishment included suffering and pain and hardship. Without sin, none of those things would be in the world. There was a great division between God and his people. But that's not the end of the story. See, God had a plan. He had a plan all along, in fact. He had a plan to send his son, Jesus, into this earth. To send his son, Jesus, to this earth as a baby who would grow up into a man and die upon a cross. Jesus was perfect. He never did anything wrong, and yet he still died on a cross. Why? Remember, death came into the world as a result of sin. It was the price to be paid for rejecting God. Christ's death paid that price for all who would trust in him. Not only did he die on the cross as a payment for our sin, a few days later he rose from the grave and he conquered death. Death lost its sting, we read. And because Christ conquered death, so can we. If we're trusting in him, we can live forever in a place called heaven for all eternity with God himself. And that's something to look forward to. And that basically is what Christians believe. God made a perfect world. Mankind messed it up. But God had a plan to pay the price and conquer death once and for all of those who would believe. I hope you believe that. Any questions, please ask. Thank you.